The sound of my husband's laughter, deep, carefree, and echoing through our living room, cut through me like glass. It wasn't the sound itself that shattered me. It was who it was meant for. Through the half-open door, I saw him leaning over the phone, smiling in a way I hadn't seen in months. His voice softened, intimate. "Yeah, I miss you too." My chest tightened. For weeks, I had been debating whether I was losing my mind or my marriage. Now, I had my answer. I didn't confront him, not yet. Instead, I packed my bags that night. My plan wasn't to end things, only to shake him. To make him realize what life would feel like without me. I left him a note. "Maybe this will remind you how much I matter." I drove to my sister's house 2 towns over, crying so hard I could barely see the road. I told myself it wasn't permanent. I just wanted him to chase me, to call, to fight for us. To prove that whatever, or whoever, was on the other end of that phone didn't matter more than the woman who built a life with him. But the first night passed. Then the second. No call. No message. Nothing. By the 5th day, my pride began to crumble. The silence was unbearable. I imagined him pacing the house, furious, broken, desperate to apologize. Maybe he didn't call because he was afraid I wouldn't answer. On the 7th night, I decided to go home. I would walk in, pretending I was just there to grab a few things, see his face, and let the moment play out. He'd see me, relief washing over him, and I'd finally get my lesson delivered. But when I pulled into our driveway, a strange car was parked in my spot. A small, silver hatchback. My stomach lurched. The porch light was on. Through the living room window, I could see the glow of candles. Candles. For a second, I froze. My rational mind begged me to think, maybe he was having dinner with a friend, maybe it was a relative, maybe. But instinct doesn't reason. It knows. I unlocked the door quietly, my heart hammering so loud I could barely hear the creak of the hinge. The smell of vanilla and wine filled the air. And then I heard it, laughter again. Softer this time, feminine. I took one step into the hallway and stopped. There they were, on our couch. The same couch where he and I had spent countless nights watching movies, arguing, making up, loving each other. She was curled up beside him, wearing one of his shirts, my husband's shirts. Her hair was still damp, as if she'd just showered. He poured her wine, his hand brushing hers, gentle, familiar. I didn't make a sound, but my knees buckled. The world blurred. I could barely breathe. He turned then, noticing the shadow in the doorway. His eyes widened. The wine glass froze mid-air. "Emma," he whispered. "I." The rest of his sentence was lost in the silence that followed. The girl scrambled, pulling a blanket over her legs, her face pale. I looked at her. Young, maybe 23, 24. Not stunning, but fresh. New. Untouched by the years that had worn me down. "You replaced me," I said quietly, my voice trembling. "Not even a week. 7 days." He stood up, guilt written across his face. "It's not what you think." I almost laughed. "Then what is it, Daniel? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you took my absence as an invitation." He ran his hand through his hair, the same nervous tick he had when he lied. "You left. I didn't know if you were coming back. You didn't even answer my calls." "I left to teach you a lesson," I snapped. "To make you realize what you were losing." His jaw tightened. "And I did realize it, Emma. But you weren't here. And she listened." The room spun. "She listened." I repeated, the words slicing through the air. "That's your excuse." He didn't answer. His silence said everything. I stared at him for what felt like forever, the weight of every shared memory pressing down on me. The dinners, the laughter, the years of trying to make him see me. And now, this. I picked up the note I'd written, still lying on the coffee table. My handwriting looked childish now. Naive. "Congratulations," I said quietly. "Lesson learned." I turned to leave, but then she spoke. "He said you were gone for good," she said softly, her voice trembling. "He told me you'd moved out." I froze mid-step. My eyes met Daniel's. You told her what? He swallowed hard. I didn't know how to explain it. I thought, maybe it was over. A hollow laugh escaped me. So you buried the marriage before the body was even cold. I walked toward the door, every step heavier than the last. But something made me stop. I turned back. You know, I said, my voice low, steady, almost eerily calm. I left because I thought you'd realize how much I mattered. But what I really learned is how little I ever did. He didn't move. Didn't beg. Didn't chase me. Just stood there, staring at the floor, too ashamed, or too indifferent, to fight. I walked out into the night, the chill biting through my sweater. For the first time, I didn't cry. I didn't plead with myself to understand. Because suddenly, I did. Sometimes we leave thinking we're teaching someone a lesson in loss. But all we end up learning is who was truly willing to lose us. That was the night I stopped waiting for someone to realize my worth, and started remembering it myself.